Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, aka the Blue Collar Wine Guy. I threw that next part in because I write a blog on the Seattle PI called the Blue Collar Wine Guy. So I'm going to add that to it. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comments. Today we're going to talk about Pinot Noir. I have 3 Pinot Noirs we're going to try, and the reason for that is that one of the traditional Christmas meals is ham. And one of the wines that goes very well, pairs very well with ham, is Pinot Noir. There's also a couple others that I'll do another couple episodes about, but today we're going to focus on Pinot Noir. Very interesting wine. Probably one of the most liked wines in the world, and a lot of that has to do with that Hollywood movie that was shot a few years back called Sideways. And in that movie, Pinot Noir was glorified for good reason. Pinot Noir is great wine. Some of the best Pinot Noir in the world come from France, out of Burgundy. And of course, we know that some great Pinot Noirs come out of the Willamette Valley in Oregon. And they do quite a few good Pinot Noirs in California. Santa Lucia Highlands, Santa Rita Hills, Carneros, Russian River, all are great Pinot Noir producers. Of course, there are some people that believe that Pinot Noir should not be made anywhere but Burgundy. I had a discussion with Randall Graham from Bonnie Doon, and he said they can't make Pinot Noir in the United States, especially in California. I shouldn't say the United States. He felt California should not do Pinot Noir. Now that's a personal decision people make. That's a personal choice. I actually like some Pinot Noir from California. I love Pinot Noir from Burgundy. And I love Pinot Noir from Oregon. Now, if you want to know a wine that'll bring out the snob in a wine person, it's Pinot Noir. People get ridiculous about it. It's still just a wine. Anyway, that being said, let's talk a little bit about Pinot Noir. The name Pinot Noir comes from 2 French words. Pinot is the French word for pine, noir, French word for black. And the reason that is the case is because the cluster, or at least historians think, the cluster of a Pinot Noir grape looks like a pine cone. Thus, pine or Pinot. It even has it's a very tight cluster. And the grapes are black. They're fairly big too. Pinot is a very difficult grape to grow and a very difficult grape to make wine with. One of the reasons it's so difficult to grow is because it has thin skin and a tight cluster. It's very temperamental. It needs to be grown in a cooler climate, and anytime you grow a grape in a cooler climate, it's difficult to crop, the canopy has to be managed very intensely. All of those things are important. And because of the tight cluster, what's the word am I looking for? It's prone to fungus and things like that. It has thin skin. A lot of things can happen to a Pinot Noir in the growth stage. And of course, making it sometimes comes across funky in the bottle. It takes a while to age. It's high in acid, low in tannins. It's just basically a very difficult grape to deal with. I read a very interesting quote one time. I thought it was pretty cool. Andrei Cheltachev, a very famous famed winemaker from Napa Valley, said, God created Cabernet Sauvignon, the devil created Pinot Noir. I thought that was a great quote. So yes, Pinot Noir is difficult to deal with. But, that being said, Pinot Noir is great with ham. A great pairing. So let's get started. The first wine we're going to taste is Ventisquero Grand Reserve Single Vineyard Pinot Noir 2011. And it says Queulat, which I'm assuming is the vineyard in which it comes from. And this wine goes for 15 bucks. Now that's pretty amazing if you think about it. Let's get a good shot of that Pinot there. There we go. $15, single vineyard, which means that they picked all the grapes from one place. So let's check this one out. Let's give the glass a rinse first of all. Now you notice the bottles are down a little bit, or maybe you did know, I don't know if you noticed that or not. Mainly because we tried them earlier in the day, so they've been open a couple hours, a few hours, not that long. One of the things I noticed on my past episodes that I'm going to try and improve on is that I've been taking quite a while to smell and taste the wine. I'm going to try and speed that up a little bit. See, the problem is when I taste at work or when I'm at home tasting and I'm taking notes in my moleskin, I do take a little bit more time. I'm trying to be very thorough in the nose, make sure everything is the way I want to describe it. But I can do it faster, and I've done that many times, so I'm going to pick it up a little bit on this show. So let's see what this smells like. Getting a little black tea, a little vegetation on the nose, little dust, and a little backdrop of strawberries. Let's give it a whirl. So I'm getting a lot of black cherry notes on this with the underlying black tea. Good structure. Get a little spice action on the backside of this. Very nice flow across the palate. And one thing about Pinot Noir is it's not a high tannic grape. Usually higher in acid, but lower in tannins. A little bit of black licorice going on. Nice dark fruit though. I like that. Now remember, this is 15 bucks, which by Pinot Noir standards is a very low price. It's from Chile. I hope I mentioned that. So this is, it's from Casablanca Valley, Chile. And I've been finding a lot of good, what's wrong with me? Been finding a lot of good values out of Chile, especially with Pinot Noir. Other good places to find Pinot, not necessarily at this price, or New Zealand actually has quite a few Pinots coming out of there now. But I've noticed with a lot of those, the acidity is tremendously high. So black tea, a little menthol, just a hit of menthol, dark fruit. The acid comes through a little bit on the backside, kind of mouth-watering. That's one of the things that makes Pinot so good with food, is the acid of the wines. But of course you want it to balance that out. You want to make sure that it's not overpowering. This has good flow across the palate. Just a, it thins out a little bit on the mid palate and the finish, but it lingers. I'm saying for $15. This is a C plus B minus wine, easily. Good value, be great with ham. Let's move on to the next one. 2008, Willamette Valley, Pinot Noir, Firesteed is the name of the producer. Let's take a look at it. So there you go, view of that. Okay, let's give the one a rinse. So in the Willamette Valley, in order to put Willamette Valley on the label, it has to be 90% Pinot Noir. And the United States standard is 75%. So you can call it a Cab if it has 75%. You can call it a Merlot if it has 75%. You get the idea. But in the Willamette Valley, they have a rule that in order to put their name on that label, to put that appellation, it has to be at least 90% Pinot Noir. Which is interesting because some wineries down in California have been accused of adding Syrah as part of that extra percentage that you can allow in their Pinot, giving them a big bacon fat kind of, you know, California sunshine love handle thing going on. Anyway, Firesteed, let's see how it smells. So right off the bat, you immediately get some complexity on this. Now this one goes for $30, so definitely a higher price, but you expect that from Willamette Valley Pinot. Many of them are much more than $30. So Firesteed also has a Pinot that they just put Oregon on the label as an appellation. Just probably not 90% Pinot Noir. Perhaps they source fruit from other parts of Oregon other than the Willamette Valley, and it's much less expensive. But I get a very deep, dark cherry notes on this with a little bit of raspberry coming through. And I get that licorice, kind of menthol licorice component going on. A lot richer on the nose. I enjoyed this, the aromas on this. This one smells good. Now, I don't want to be I don't want to beat a dead horse here. But please take some time and smell your wine. It will just enhance your wine drinking experience. Don't just blow it off and say, I don't get any of these aromas out of the wine, whatever. Start practicing. Read somebody's description. You know, watch somebody's video, do whatever, and see if you get those elements out of it. Just, if anything, just for the fun of it, just to make your wine drinking experience a little funner. Or more fun. Okay. I'm even getting a little spice on the nose, but on the palate there's this I get a little more acid undertones on this one, a little brighter back end underneath. I'm even getting a little, we like to say pencil lead, but it's more of a minty kind of pencil leady thing going on. I don't like to use pencil lead because that's kind of a tough description. I mean, I understand it. You taste through a few Bordeaux's, you get the idea of what pencil lead is. But it also leans towards a mintier side. A lot of red flowers on this. I get like a rose petal, violet thing going on. A little bit of leather, which I like. It means it has more depth, probably more ageability. The acid, the leather, the fruit, it's good balance. Nice and sturdy. It's drinkable now for sure. This would be excellent with ham. Definitely could lay this one away probably 10 years and it wouldn't hurt it a bit. We use the term Burgundian because wines show a lot of those Burgundy characters, that earthiness, that leather, those cherry, the minerality. This definitely finishes with like a boatload of minerals. Like I get a little crushed rock action on the backside. There's a little raspberry, almost like an underripe raspberry notes in the finish. And I get that black tea element also. I like this wine. Very well made. Good Pinot. I know it's $30. Sometimes we like to spend a little bit more during Christmas time. This is a good value for $30. I think a Pinot from Burgundy, Pinot Noir from Burgundy, of this quality might go $50, $60 because of the area. You like that? The area it's from. Willamette's expensive, but still doesn't get up there into where some of the Burgundian Pinot Noirs are. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Sonoma Hills Pinot Noir 2011. We talked about this appellation, Russian River Valley, California. And I did this one last because, as I said, they tend to be just a little fatter. Let's see if we can get nice close. There we go. Get a picture of that? Okay, good. This one rolls in at $22. And let's see if it lives up to the California reputation of being just a little bigger, fatter on the palate. I've never tried this one. Actually, I've had the Ventisquero a few times. I've always thought this was a good value. This is my first time for the Firesteed Willamette Valley. I've had their Oregon Pinot Noir on several occasions. And this is my first time for Sonoma Hills. 22 bones, not bad price, not a bad price for a Pinot Noir. Let's see what it smells like. Definitely deeper. I get a little burnt match component on the nose. I get a little bit of oak coming through. There's definitely a black tea element there. And I guess I'm getting more of a strawberry, kind of a riper strawberry element on the nose also. Let's give it a whirl. Very ripe, dark cherries. Smoother for sure. It doesn't have that high acid. This one's ready to drink now. Good flow across the palate though. Very delicious. I would call this a delicious Pinot Noir. Definitely has a little bit of love handles on it. Some baby fat going on. There's a little like glycerin, you know, kind of hangs around, a little fatty. I don't get any bacon fat component, but definitely black cherries with mixed in with a little bit of riper strawberries. And then you get this nice like white pepper kind of spicy hit on the back end. Very delicious. This is a well-made Pinot Noir. Stop just for a minute on the Firesteed Pinot Noir. I'm going to give it an A-. Ventisquero, C+. I think I already said that. I think I forgot to grade the Firesteed. Sorry about that. Back to the Sonoma Hills. There's a lot of people. This would be a great Pinot Noir for somebody if might be the first time you're trying it. You just want to try one out. You don't want to spend a boatload of money. $22 isn't bad. You want to have it with your Christmas ham. Go with the Sonoma Hills. It's very well made wine. Very well made. It's not as fat as I thought it would be. Good balance. Nice spice on the finish. It's drinkable right now. I'm going to give this one a B+. So we got a C+, A-, B+ wine. Good lineup. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching. Please make a comment. Let me know how this is going. Tell me if you like it. Give me some criticism. Give me some points. Help me out. I want to hear what you have to say. And cheers. And here's to keeping the snob out of wine. Ciao.